let's get things started. Hey guys, Hattopy here. Welcome back to the next episode of Disappointing Pokemon, where we continue to discuss Pokemon with some weird designs, some uneven stats, or just plain weird to use. Now, of course, like always, I'll hold no animosity towards anyone who uses these Pokemon or anything like that. Just kind of here to give my goofy opinion, I suppose. But regardless, let's take a look at some of these guys today, shall we? So today we have
excuse me, would this be the line for the food bar? Also, I was wondering if there was a place I could wash my teeth. You know what they say about old dragons, dirty teeth mean dirty feet. I mean, I never really understood the saying, but as my granddaddy used to say, once you're sore, you'll hunger more, and I'm actually quite hungry, so I'll just sit here behind you if that's so.
Anyways, first up on the list, we have Surskit and, by extension, Masquerain. Now, before we got Dewpider, Araquanid, Wimpod, and Golisopod, Surskit was the only bug water typing in the series and held that position obviously for quite some time. Since it was a basic Pokemon, I never really would have gotten much mileage out of a Surskit, but I did kind of like their designs. It's basic, but it's kind of cute, and their typing had a lot of potential behind it. But then it evolves into Masquerain, and it's just... you ruined it. You blew it. Masquerain ditches the bug water typing for bug flying, which is one of the most populated dual typings in the game. And with that, it loses all natural ability to learn water type moves upon evolving, and even as late as Generation 7, the only damaging water type TM it can learn is Scald. You could also take it to the Move Tutor in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon to learn Liquidation or Water Pulse as well, or halt Surskit's evolution in order for it to learn Aqua Jet, but that's a lot of roundabout means to keep an aspect of a Pokemon that can arguably be done better by the previously mentioned Araquanid and Golisopod. And even if we were to compare it to more appropriate Pokemon like Butterfree, Beautifly, or Vivillon, then yes, Masquerain would have the better stat spread and move pools, but it's all in the potential that it could have had all throughout Generation 3 to 6, and that's what really blows it. Now, the sins of the parent should never count towards the sins of the child. That makes sense in this context. Anyways, so I'm not going to blame Surskit on this, so it's not counted, but Masquerain, to me, is definitely a very disappointing Pokemon. Next up, Qwilfish. I'd love to have a snappy thing to say, but it's just so dull. To be fair, there's actually not many poison water types in the game, so it holds a spot in exclusive company, but that company is home to some pretty good Pokemon. Compared to Dragalge, Tentacruel, and Toxapex, Qwilfish has the lowest stat spread of the group. If I wanted my defensive spiky wall, Toxapex holds that spot perfectly thanks to its exclusive move Baneful Bunker. If I wanted a Pokemon built to cover a good variety of typings, Dragalge heavily emphasizes water, poison, and dragon type naturally, as well as dark, ice, ghost, fighting, and even electric typing through other methods. And even though I've still yet to actually use a Tentacruel in any playthrough, I'd be more likely to use those than a Qwilfish. I mean, just look at what they do in the OP. Next up, we have one that hits me on a personal level. One that just, the decision to make them the way they are just continues to baffle me, even to this day. We have Archen and Archeops. Now, the thing is that I used an Archeops before in my first playthrough of Generation 5, mostly only because the flyer pool for early on in the game is kind of low, so there's not much choices that you have to make. But I did make it on this basis that it does have a pretty nice design, and even compared to other Pokemon very similar to Archeops, It has the highest BST than both Aerodactyl and Minior, and each Pokemon's move list has some decent variety in both naturally learned moves and through TMs. But the thing that absolutely ruins it all for Archeops in my eyes is its abysmal ability. Abilities can come in types that are a fair bit less helpful than others. Things like Hustle. I hate losing accuracy, but I at least get a damage boost. Or Klutz, making a Pokemon unable to use held items, but that helps with Pokemon that potentially try to force items onto them that may be harmful. Even the starters all throughout the series with their default ability of Blaze, Torrent, and Overgrow don't do much for me since I usually don't try to leave my Pokemon with very low health. But I do get the application of the ability, and speedrunners tend to take advantage of its boost, so at least someone likes it. But then there's Arcanine and Archeops, with their ability Defeatist. When their HP drops below half, their attack and special attack gets cut in half. What's the point? I mean, it makes no sense. If it was exclusively Arcan, then it would make more sense, even if the ability is still completely stupid. But no Pokedex entry ever implies that Arcan, or especially Archeops, are cowardly in nature or anything to that degree. And besides, who would even choose them anyways when the other fossil in Generation 5 ends up becoming Tortuga and Caracosta? Well, I mean, I did, but that's beside the point. Caracostas are awesome. I wanted to give Archeops a glowing recommendation when I first saw it because of its really good design and the ability to learn some half-decent moves. And to be very fair, like I said, it's not like I try to have my Pokemon with that low of health anyways. I usually try to keep them pretty healthy regardless. But Defeatist is just too awful to ignore. Okay, Archeops, you done goofed. The final Pokemon for today's video is Tangela times 2. I mean, Tangrowth. Now, it's important to note that there's quite a bit of pure grass types all throughout the entire series. So it's important to note that it obviously can't have like the best stats amongst the entire group, especially against some of the starters. Now, what? It does? Anyway, well, I mean, it's not like its move pool can have any sort of varying degree to it. Like, it's just a plain type that can only learn like a couple different... Hold on. It can learn Double Team? It's a hunk of vine, a 300-pound hunk of vines. How can it learn Double Team? Oh, shit. Okay, I think I made my point originally with its design. Okay, that's why it's dumb. But, oh, jeez, that's so stupid. Who lets this thing learn Double Team? Are you still there? But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click right up here to check out some of my other videos that I've done. Or, if you really feel like it, you can click right up here to subscribe. And until next time, guys, I will see you all later.
Did somebody say tater?
Nobody said tater, Drampa.